Hey everybody, welcome back to the Court of Random Opinion. My name is Lauren Neidigh. Let me turn this down a sec. There we go, that's a little better. I have a friend that's going to be joining me tonight. Her name is Schnitzel Ninja. If you guys haven't seen her before, you're in for a treat. Also, I sent you a link, Omar. I see Omar in the chat. If you want to join us, you can. We're going to go over another article that I found today that I found was a little strange regarding the whole Justin Baldoni Blake Lively thing, and we will kind of pick that apart a little bit. And then, like I said, we will go through that whole LA Times article because we didn't go through that earlier today. I didn't want to show it on the screen because I wasn't sure with the copyright and all that. But with the article we're about to show you, that should be fine because it's not behind a paywall. So, hey, what's up?
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no problem. I'm not used to you greeting me that way, so it's kind of strange. It's usually very rude or very disgusting. But I appreciate your professionalism for our new audience.
I try my best.
Yeah, right. Sorry, just checking for lettuce in my teeth. Anyways, one of us has to be professional, and since you entered that way, I think I'm fine to do whatever I want now.
That's what she said, since you entered that way.
Don't be
I can't help it.
Okay. All right, let's see. Let me pull this article up. Oh, that's not what I'm trying to do. I was making dinner, and then I was putting the laundry in like an adult, and so I was like, I guess I should slow down, and that's why I'm late. All right, it says innocent until proven guilty unless you're Blake Lively. Have you seen this one yet?
No.
Okay, well, I wish I hadn't, but I did. So, and it's like some small paper, the University of California, San Diego Guardian. But like, I get news alerts now, so I was looking through the headlines, and this one came up, and I was like, oh, somebody is woefully misinformed. But this one, it takes a little bit or a lot of a different tone, I guess, than this one. It's more like pro Blake and pro like, why aren't they believing the woman? But you'll see there's like a huge like gap there that they're just like, we're not acknowledging that we're actually saying exactly what happened to the falsely accused in this case. So it's just kind of a weird situation. But one sec.
Even with the title, I mean, you're like, oh,
yeah, and I would have seen this and thought, like maybe they wrote this a long time ago and they didn't really understand what was going on, but it was actually 2 days ago.
Yep,
so
2
days ago. So this is not somebody who hasn't had a chance to do their research. It's just kind of weird.
Yeah.
Snow Wonder says this is one intense title for this live, quite thought-provoking, actually. Let me just text Omar really quick and tell him that he can come in if he wants. Okay. Mainstream media isn't reading the room anymore. This seems like more of a college newspaper or something.
Jay Jones wrote it.
No, God, not Jay Jones. Okay. Innocent until proven guilty unless you're Blake Lively. So, like you said, you can kind of decide what this is going to be about at that point. He said, she said. Then the internet decided. On December 21st, actress Blake Lively filed an 80-page lawsuit accusing It Ends With Us co-star and director Justin Baldoni of sexual harassment and inappropriate conduct on set. She alleged that Baldoni improvised kissing scenes, made explicit comments about her body, and pressured her into filming intimate moments that were not in the original script. Yet, despite substantial evidence and near unanimous support from the cast, she was disbelieved. In the court of public opinion,
substantial evidence.
Right, hold on. We'll get to that. Let me finish the paragraph first before we start to attack. Okay. In the court of public opinion, a woman's credibility is often determined not by the facts of her case, but by how much the public likes her. So I just want to say really quickly, the woman who wrote this article, who is writing this sentence about how a woman's credibility in the court of public opinion is so important, but then she decided to write this whole ass article without reading any of the amended complaints or looking into any of the actual evidence. So I gotta say, we're kind of doomed if that's the case. But go on. What were you gonna say?
Oh, I was just saying substantial evidence. Well, where's the evidence? I haven't seen it yet.
I mean, I think maybe you remember when I first read the Blake Lively complaint. I'm not sure. I think I read it by myself, but I
Mhm.
had people in my comments that were like, "Lauren, you have to read Justin's response." I was like, "Slow down, guys. I'm starting here because this was the first thing to be filed." And I remember like I was very neutral. I was like kind of sticking up for her in the stance of like a lot of stuff people get upset with her about, not regarding the lawsuit, but just in general, is like stuff that happened over a decade ago. So I was like, I don't want to. Use that as a testament of our character now, because I know I'm a hell of a lot different than I was in 2010, 2011. And so I was very like impartial at that point. And then as I started reading through her initial complaint, which is clearly all this person read, I remember seeing the parts about him supposedly crying for long periods of time in her trailer about how she looked bad or something. And I remember thinking like, this doesn't seem believable to me.
Mhm.
Not even knowing the other guy's side of the story, this doesn't seem believable to me. And at that point I was I've never been like a real fan girl or anything like that, but I was a fan of Blake Lively. Like, I liked her movies, I liked her shows. Obviously I watched Gossip Girl only several times. And so I was like, I like Blake Lively. Of course I did, because look at me, and she's a hot blonde, so I had no problem with Blake Lively. But I was reading that complaint and I was just like, damn, I'm trying really hard to justify this because I like her, but something about this is really odd. Um, and so it took a while for me to read his complaint and then say, oh shit, this is really bad. So it wasn't like there was any pre-existing bias that went into this. I want to point that out. Like, I was very like, if anything, I was pro Blake, and it just doesn't add up. So the fact that this person read that 80-page lawsuit, the initial one, and then like wrote this article, which you guys haven't seen all of it yet,
Mhm.
I'm just kind of like, what were you doing that prevented you from reading the other side of the story?
Yeah.
So it's just very strange.
Mhm.
Um, okay, and then I'm assuming you saw the LA Times thing earlier, but
I
we'll get
didn't
into
read the
that.
whole thing.
Okay, well, we'll get into that. No worries. All right. In Lively's case, the smear campaign began immediately. A 2016 interview recirculated on social media along with accusations that she was out of touch and self-promotional, particularly in her marketing for It Ends With Us, where she casually plugged her hair product while discussing a story about domestic abuse. TikTok and X, formerly known as Twitter, were flooded with comments like, "She has always been insufferable, and of course she would make this about herself." This criticism had nothing to do with the allegations themselves, but it became a convenient distraction, shifting focus from her claims to her character. Worse, the backlash was not organic, it was deliberately engineered. In her lawsuit, Lively presented evidence of a smear campaign coordinated by Baldoni's PR team to destroy her public image. Aware that she might come forward with a complaint, the lawsuit reveals that his team worked preemptively to turn the internet against her. One text message from his team even takes credit for the backlash, reading, "We've started to see a shift on social media due largely to Jed and his team's effort to control the narrative," which in and of itself is not incriminating, guys. It is not a crime to hire a crisis PR firm. It is not a crime to try to improve your public image in the middle of a very, like harsh sort of character attack on you. And that's kind of what I read the situation as, just taking the text messages independently, taking it out of Blake Lively's complaint and just reading the text messages themselves. I'm thinking like this could definitely be just, conversation about a PR strategy to try to make him look better, or to try to make the movie look better, or the people involved in the movie look better. I'm not thinking like somebody's trying to attack someone else. So
Mhm.
I don't know. It's just strange.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like you said, it's just because maybe he's trying to make himself look better in the public eye does not mean he is also trying to make her look worse.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, man. And like even still, it's like his publicist, obviously, from the text we've seen in all three complaints now, because I didn't read the publicist complaint until Sunday.
Mm.
Because I was like, oh, it's probably more of the same, but it was actually pretty different. Um, between the three lawsuits, I'm looking at those texts and I'm just like, I'm still not seeing anything like damning here. I'm not seeing anything that's like conspiracy theory wise. I'm seeing publicists talk bad about each other,
Which
but
I'm
that
sure happens all the time.
that appears to be how they conduct business. Yes.
Uh-huh.
So I'm just kind of like, what? Why are you dragging this guy through it?
Mhm, mhm.
Mm-hmm. That's very strange. Good grief! This is university level Jorbicism. What? What is that word?
I don't know.
Jorbicism. Tropicism? Tropicism?
Tropicism?
Is that German? I don't know. All right. Oh, somebody says I haven't even seen the movie. I hadn't either until after I read. I think it was after I read her lawsuit and before I read his, or somewhere around that time. I'm not sure. It might have been after I read his initial complaint, but I hadn't read I hadn't read the movie. I hadn't watched the movie. I still haven't read the book. I did watch the movie twice now. Once voluntarily and the other against my will. And I didn't think it was the worst movie ever, but there were parts of it I didn't like. And there's some debate about whether the rooftop scene is really as bad in the book as I thought it was in the movie, but I won't, in case anybody does end up watching the movie, I won't get too much into that. But still, I was just like, oh, this is actually not great. It's just the rooftop scene that bothered me the most, where he was like, I don't know, his like supposed to be like super sexy like pickup line was like, I want to have sex with you or something. It was just like, oh,
okay.
What in the low effort fuck was that?
Apparently Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds.
I guess, man. I guess. Roses Wild says, I wonder if that part you don't like was the parts, Blake, that were changed. It was. That was the one scene that they ended up saying Ryan Reynolds came in and wrote this, which they later tried to walk back, and that did not obviously work, because what are you even talking about? I don't even know what the truth is now. So Omar says, you want to bang? I thought you'd never ask, mister. Omar, you can come join us if you want, or you could just sit there and be a perv. I don't know. Whatever you want to do, though. It's fine. Fine by me. I'm a good friend, you know. Okay, let's get into the next paragraph. Hang on. So we got through deliberately engineered. In her lawsuit, Lively presented evidence of a smear campaign, ma'am, coordinated by Baldoni's PR team to destroy her public image. Aware that she might come forward with a complaint, the lawsuit reveals that his team worked preemptively to turn the internet against her. One text message from his team even takes credit for the backlash, reading, we've started to see a shift on social media due to... I did read that. Largely to Jed and his team's effort to control the narrative. Even the very comments that fueled Lively's backlash were manipulated. Right? Producers allegedly instructed Lively to present the film in a lighthearted manner. Okay. Hence her cheerful comments encouraging fans to grab your friends and wear your fucking florals. While Baldoni was encouraged to frame the film with gravity and sensitivity. The contrast was not an accident. It was a deliberate tactic. So I didn't think when I saw that, I didn't think it was encouraging her to say stuff like that. I just thought it was, maybe being like, we don't have to be so dark. You know what I mean?
Right.
I don't know. I felt differently than she did, obviously, when reading those notes. But that's just me. Okay. The public's reaction to Lively's accusations against Baldoni highlight a troubling reality. Women who come forward, especially against powerful men, are often discredited not by evidence, but with attacks on their character.
Why isn't she suing Sony then? If Sony told her, like, keep it light, and she's getting torn to fucking shreds online because she's talking about it being like a girl's date night and wear your florals, why wouldn't she sue them then and say, like, hey, people are blaming me for this shit. My numbers are tanking because I said this stuff, but I said it because you told me I had to.
Right. Dude, I don't know. And apparently, those fake HR complaints that were going around where it was like, none of this makes sense.
Right.
That was also allegedly filed to Sony, and Sony has come out and been like, there were no complaints against Justin. So what?
Right, and Jenny Slate's complaint wasn't even about Justin. So why is she even like being brought into that? I mean, I know that Healy is a part of the complaint too, but I felt like the
Healy.
Wait, what the fuck's the other guy's name? The producer.
Oh, Heath. Jamie Heath.
Sorry, Jamie Heath. Jamie Heath.
Oh no, there's Jamie Heath. There's Justin Baldoni. Steve Sarowitz.
Jamie Heath. Yeah, Jamie Heath.
Yeah.
I don't know why I said Healy. Jamie Heath. The story was right that Jenny Slate said that he said something about her, the motherhood comment, right? And that's what she like supposedly filed some type of complaint about.
Yeah.
But
yeah, Jenny Slate. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think she's been named, but like I think everyone knows it's her. Or maybe she was named. Maybe she was named.
She wasn't. Like the Hollywood Reporter reported from a source, which unfortunately the Hollywood Reporter's rumors have to this point become somewhat accurate. So I don't want to totally discredit that, especially because it's come from multiple sources now, I think. But yeah. Also, someone says because Sony is too big. So you want that though. Like you would want to sue Sony because they got more money. You can get more money from Sony, and especially if you can prove that you actually reported it to them and they did nothing. That's bad for Sony. Like you gotta step up and put that in there if they actually did something wrong. So yeah, she's not suing Sony because there was no wrongdoing, in my opinion. But yeah. And then what were we just saying about Jamie Heath and all that? Jenny Slate. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. I was saying that I felt like the way that the Lively side was kind of presenting that complaint and presenting this information, I felt like they were directing it at, like trying to make it seem like it had something to do with Justin, but then it comes down to it didn't have anything to do with him at all. So I found that odd as well.
So Jenny Slate, you know how I told you, and you laughed at me for this, but I told you like it must have been like a week ago now that I was like, I'm watching old movies and shows from these three people, from Ryan and Blake and Justin, because I know I'm going to see something, and I'm like determined that I'm going to see something that's going to be interesting to me that I didn't know before.
Yeah, because you said you were watching Green Lantern, right?
Yeah, I did, and you know what? I was like one of the 3 fans of that movie when it first came out a long time ago, because everybody else hated that shit, right? And I liked it. And
Ryan Reynolds hated it.
Yeah, I know, right? Because he wouldn't do a second one. But I'm still mad at him for that, and that's why I hate his wife. Just kidding. I don't hate his wife. I just think she's a liar. She's very pretty though. Anyways, moving on, Lauren. I watched it again, and it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be, because like a lot of the movies and stuff that I watched in high school that I really liked, I watch now, and I'm like, what the hell? This is crap. So, but I watched this one, and I was like, I didn't actually think it was terrible. Nobody's ever going to agree with me on that, but I actually didn't hate it, and I would have liked to see a second one. The guy with the big head scared me, and it always stuck with me, and I'll never forget it. So you know what? I didn't hate that movie. But anyways, after watching Green Lantern, I moved on to SNL, and the only episode of SNL, to my knowledge, that Ryan Reynolds ever hosted. I was watching it last night, and I'm watching a skit with Andy Samberg because he was on the show at the time. This was back in like 2009. And then all of a sudden, Jenny Slate pops up. And I was like,
episode?
Yeah, she's in the skit. And so I was like, I didn't even know Jenny Slate and Ryan Reynolds knew each other for that long. I didn't even know that connection was there. So that was interesting.
I didn't either.
Yeah.
I just know she said the F word and was fired.
Yeah. I heard about that, but I don't remember it because there's been so many seasons since then. But yeah, I guess that was like her first or second episode or something. But she was in that Andy Samberg skit, and I was like, wait a minute. But he and Blake, I guess, they weren't even married at that time, because she then later hosted in December of that year, and I haven't rewatched that one yet. But yeah, so that was interesting. But he was still, I think, married. Maybe he was still married to Scarlett. I'm not sure. So
that would make sense, because they didn't. What year was Green Lantern? Like 2010?
It must have been 2009, 2010. Hang on. 2011. Okay.
So probably filmed 2010, released 2011.
Yeah. So that was the year I graduated high school. So I was still young and dumb, but Unfortunately, I still don't hate it. I still don't hate it like other people hate it. I'm just like, I still don't hate it. All right, let's see. Where did we leave off here? Did we get through the deliberate tactic?
Yeah. Yes, I think that's where we ended.
The public's reactions to Lively's accusations against Baldoni highlight a troubling reality. Women who come forward, especially against powerful men, are often discredited not by evidence, but with attacks on their character. I feel like this person just like branded Me Too onto their forehead or something, and like, they can't see any other reality.
Yeah.
But there is a problem, as you and I both know, based on what we've been following for the last year and change. There is a problem with people who make false accusations, and it ruins lives. And those people probably feel more isolated than ever. Unfortunately, as a consequence of this like mission to believe all victims, because some victims, not a lot, not many, not most, some victims are not telling the truth. Some alleged victims are not telling the truth. And that's very sad. And so whenever I see something like this, I'm just like, you're such a you just completely ignore the experience of anyone else in order to kind of support your bias. So like I remember my initial reaction to those accusations was not she's light. My initial reaction to those accusations were like, oh, I should read this and find out what happened. But it wasn't like, she's a woman, so obviously, she's not telling the truth because she said some weird words 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And the internet can be like that, but that's not indicative of like everyone as a whole, as I'm still learning as we grow up. Because it's like the internet feels like, especially as I become an adult and I'm not surrounded by people the way that I used to be. I have a lot of like independent time and thought and stuff like that. It's like we spend so much time on the internet, on social media, and whatever, that it feels like what we read and what we see is all there is. I feel like,
Yeah.
and what we see is actually tailored to us in a very complicated way that I will never be able to understand through algorithms, and so it's like reinforcing these ideas that we already have. So yeah, it's just I don't know. I feel like this person, when I read this article, I'm thinking this person is a victim, not a victim of that. This person has been a target of that, and they have taken it very far to heart and can't see anything else at this point.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yep.
but those are just my opinions. So,
I get the same feeling.
yeah. Let's see. Even with overwhelming support from those who actually knew her, that would be like if I robbed a bank and my mom and dad were like, "No, she wouldn't do that." Oh my god. Okay. Even with overwhelming support from those who actually knew her, the public refused to listen. Unlike many women who faced backlash for coming forward, Lively had near unanimous support from her colleagues. It ends with us author Colleen Hoover publicly defended her, as did multiple castmates who worked in the film, yet none of this mattered. The smear campaign had done its job. Online discourse was already poisoned against her. As one of Baldoni's own team members aptly said, it's actually sad because it just shows you how much people really want to hate on women. And I saw that text. It's the text I just went over in that last video that I had an hour and so ago. And you can see that text message used in different contexts and different lawsuits to allege smear campaigns against different women. So first of all, why hasn't this person done their research to that effect? But second, also, like, just because some lady said that doesn't mean that's actually the case. It doesn't mean that's actually what's going on.
Right.
It lacks a huge amount of context. Like,
okay,
let's see. Lively's treatment follows a long-established pattern. During the Anita Hill hearings, and this is where I go blank because I don't politic anymore, senators fixated less on Clarence Thomas' alleged misconduct and more on Hill's demeanor, questioning why she was so composed if she has truly been harassed. Long before the Me Too era, Monica Lewinsky was vilified as manipulative, while the man who held power over her walked away unscathed. The playbook remains unchanged. If you cannot disprove a woman's claims, you discredit her as a person. Okay, but these things are super different, I feel like, from what I know of them. Nobody gave anyone a blowjob in this case, to my knowledge. And yes, maybe, Bill Clinton was an asshole who got his dick sucked, but like, what does it have to do with Justin Baldoni?
Right. Right. Oh, that's dumb.
Very weird. While it's easy to dismiss this as just another Hollywood feud or a workplace dispute gone public, well, it's a lawsuit, ma'am. I don't know what you're talking about. What? The issue runs far deeper. The Me Too movement suggested that, as a society, we had moved past those biases and learned to take allegations seriously without demanding perfection from victims. So what about the man that you're accusing?
Right.
Because apparently he was a victim of a lot of fucked up shit. So what about him?
It's just like... it's hard because I feel like with so many things, there's a pendulum. With like the Me Too movement, there's going to be... the pendulum might in some ways like go too far the other direction, and then eventually it will kind of like come back into the middle where there's fairness for everybody, is what you would hope, right?
Mm-hmm.
But this person is basically saying you cannot be a victim if you're a man. Any woman who speaks out is telling the truth and they need to be believed, which I agree. Like, we should believe it at first. If someone says something happened, you can take that seriously and say, like, okay, I hear you. And I know in some cases of like sexual harassment and stuff, there isn't evidence. But this
Mhm.
case is different because now it's different in that some of what she's claiming happened is filmed and we can clearly see
Right.
it's not happening. The stuff in the trailer, like, unfortunately, we don't have any video or photographic evidence of what happened, but you can.
I mean, there might be. It's just we can no longer see it.
Well,
'Cause of
true, yeah, or
you
like,
know.
when Jamie Heath like apparently like looked at her, and in the moment she's like, "Oh, don't worry, I know you're not trying to cop a look," but then in her complaint, she's saying like, "Oh, he looked at me and like, I didn't want him to. Or it made me feel uncomfortable." So it's just, a lot of it's going to be he said, she said,
Yeah.
but just like with the case that we've been following, you could believe her at first. It looked like, it looked like she had receipts. Well, then you dig a little bit and you find out, whoa, like that's misrepresented. It's like these texts here, they've been misrepresented in multiple occasions,
Mhm.
to make it look like something that it wasn't. So anyway, yeah, I just have I'm sure you do too, problem with like the entire article.
No, this all makes sense to me. No, it's weird. I don't like it. I don't like
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. I wonder did you look at the comments?
Uh, on this article, no.
Yeah.
1 second. Sorry, I had to delete a troll. Let's see. Astroturfing on social is wild, and the hate Baldoni unleashed on his victim is disgusting. And this was yesterday, bro. Like, so articles like this are extremely unhelpful. It's nice to see someone not riding the wave. Well, people ride the wave for a reason. Just saying. Because if you don't ride the wave, you're doing it wrong. But all right. Cindy, thank you for your bravery in writing this article. To even read in the comments that people have no remorse for the way they're treating Blake Lively because of some bad choices she's made. Proves your point exactly. Isn't Baldoni's whole feminism shtick about growing and learning from his mistakes? I guess that's something only men can do.
Right.
This comment was not the bop that Marianne thought it was. Whoa. Wholly out of touch. All right. Yes, poor Blake Lively. She got her Voices of Solidarity award taken away from her, dropped from WB Talent Agency, bullied and made fun of in a major movie, and publicly crucified. Oh, wait. That wasn't Blake. It was Justin Baldoni that it happened to. But yes, Blake, who had a plantation side with it and laughed about her co-star being born in a cage. She was born in prison. And laughed about dressing up as a black girl in an interview and able to bury any bad publicity for years. Yep, poor Blake. LOL. Yeah, sorry, not sorry, but we don't feel sorry for the Nepo baby Blake now that she is getting a small taste of what she dished up. I mean, I can't disagree with that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I do. I try very hard not to judge people, like I said, too hard for stuff that happened a long time ago, but still, it's like, well, I mean, it is the truth.
It is. And I mean, it doesn't seem like she's changed much. I don't know.
No,
I hate to think, like, because I'm like I was saying the other night on Omar's stream that I'm sure she's a great mom. I know she likes to bake, like, and that's endearing. And I'm sure. I mean, it seems like she and Ryan really love each other. I mean, I don't know what happened with this whole thing, but and they can make each other fun of each other online. Like, I was with someone who was super controlling and I could never make fun of him anywhere. He would just get really pissed off and really upset and like get angry with me for just trying to like make, a lighthearted joke or something. So anyway, I mean, I think that could be a sign of a healthy relationship, that they can like post, unflattering pictures of each other online and and say funny things. But
Yeah.
I don't know. It's and she's a mom of what, like 4 kids. So like I respect her for being a mom, for giving birth, all of that stuff. But like it just sucks that she also apparently has this side to her as well.
Yep. Oh man. All right, let's see. We're done with that. Well, I'll read a couple more of these comments and then we'll get to the LA Times. But Blake is the accuser who took her accusations against Baldoni to the New York Times, who published them based solely upon Lively's accusations. Baldoni was dropped from his agency, had an award strip from him. We just read that, but yeah, same kind of thing. People initially believed Blake until Justin Baldoni's team published evidence that destroyed the credibility of Lively, made her accusations seem ridiculous. It also showed who wielded the real power in this production. It was Blake Lively, along with her husband Ryan Reynolds, who did. How many victims of sexual harassment end up taking over the entire production of a movie? The final movie poster paints the true picture of what happened. The poster initially featured a picture of both Lively and Baldoni with both of their names appearing. The final poster pictured only Lively with only Lively's name on it. Hold on, can you read these last 2 paragraphs while I look up the poster?
Yeah. I suggest you read the evidence posted on the Baldoni website before writing an article about this subject again. Lively has not refuted any of the evidence either. As it is, all allegations made by Lively against Baldoni have been shown to be false, misleading, or simply outlandish. Not only that, but just flat out cruel. Lively has shown herself to be cruel, not merely annoying, as you state, but cruel. Proof of that cruelty does not come from manufactured or manipulated evidence either. It comes from factual evidence that existed before the production of It Ends With Us, as well as during and after the production of the movie.
Okay, so I found the poster, and I have seen this before. I just never gave much thought to it, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So it says Blake Lively, and there's her, and then It Ends With Us, and then I don't know. Does it even cite him in here? Hang on, let's see. Can't really. Okay, there we go. Hang on, let's see. Columbia Pictures, Wayfair.
Yeah, it says
a film by Justin Baldoni. It Ends With Us. Okay. Nice that they put him in the small print. God.
It's so ridiculous. Even like I was saying a while ago, even if the harassment happened,
mm-hmm.
for everything else to have gone down the way it did, and for her to just like fucking take over the movie in the way she did, even if that other stuff had happened, it's still completely uncalled for, in my opinion. It's still dirty. It's still disgusting.
Yeah. Right.
Nothing justifies that.
Yep. All right, let's see. Back to here real quick. Let me pull up this LA Times thing. Oh, that's 2. Okay, so I actually put it in a Google Doc because I was trying to.
Oh, nice.
I wanted to. Oh, Omar with us. Hey.
Hey,
Omar?
folks.
Hey,
what you doing?
I am just calling in because I felt like I should, because you sent me a link, and I know that I'm not supposed to be streaming right now, but yet I felt obligated and just say hello and show my support. Also, man, I'm really fired up about the subject matter of today's show. I'm going to be talking about it some on my stream. I really wanted to do it with you, but it's the East Coast, West Coast thing. I don't know what to say.
Well,
it's like family time.
When are you doing that?
Oh, like after your show, like probably at like midnight your time.
Okay. Yeah, I'll probably be. We'll probably go for at least another half hour or so, but that'll only be 10:30, man. What are you talking about on your show? Which part?
It almost, well, it's pretty close to what you're talking about. Just like the way that the media is portraying this guy, Justin Baldoni, and how there are so many media outlets out there for whatever reason, that in the absence of evidence, in the absence of anything tangible, are choosing to pick sides regardless of what the scorecard says, and just decide that Baldoni is this guy that's trying to silence Blake Lively. For what? I'm like, based on what track record? Like, I read the complaints. What I gathered from the complaints was not that the guy was a harasser. What I gathered from the Blake Lively's complaints, her original and her first amended, was that he was a champion of women's rights, and that he had a reputation that Lively maybe had motive to exploit, and threatened him potentially with false allegations of harassment, knowing that he couldn't afford to have those on his record because he was a guy who for the last decade has been building this reputation as like a good dude.
Yeah.
And so now, we have this lawsuit, and you've seen the tide of public sentiment swing in his direction. And you have this LA Times article, and that's not the only one. There was others that are suggesting somehow that he is too squeaky clean to be believed, and he is working actively to silence Blake Lively in a way that is malicious and nefarious, like we're back in 1978.
Yeah, that's pretty bad. I mean, I hadn't really seen any articles. I guess maybe I just didn't read them before today. But then these couple were just pretty bad. So I was like, oh God, this is.
Well, yeah, the ones that you read, I mean, obviously there's the LA Times one. There was a couple of others that I started reading. But anytime that they start saying that, oh, so we're just going to like take his word for it and just anything that Lively has to say, just like it's just chopped liver. That's not the reason why people are turning on Lively. It's because she said these things. She characterized him as a sexual predator and failed to produce any receipts. And the general public is allowed to look at the evidence that's presented in front of them and make decisions. And I feel like the general public has done that in this case in spades. And where we stand on the harassment issue, like it's almost no longer about a harassment lawsuit. All the lawyers, myself included, are not talking about the harassment issue because there's no evidence there. Oh, there's other HR complaints. Let's see the HR complaints, I guess. But if you're looking for harassment, it's not from Lively's side. I'll tell you that much. There's video freaking evidence of it all, and text messages and all these other things going back and forth. And so it's largely become really a textbook case centered around defamation claims and the media's ability to report without being accused of making defamatory statements. That's the New York Times lawsuit against them. But what it's not really about with any measure of merit is sexual harassment based on the evidence. Is that going to change? Well, it might. It might. I haven't seen it yet. I'm not saying that Lively's entire lawsuit is bullshit. I'm just saying that the harassment claims, honestly, they could probably do motion for summary judgment at this point.
Yeah.
And have a pretty decent shot at getting those causes of action thrown out for lack of evidence once they conduct final discovery. Like if they conduct all of their discovery and all their depositions and that's all they have in the lawsuit, I really think that the next move by Friedman's team is motion for summary judgment, at least with respect to the harassment causes of actions under the CRD complaint and all that kind of stuff. I don't mean to hijack your stream. I just had a lot to say, and
No,
I was like,
you're good, man. All good.
I'm pissed off if you can't tell.
Yeah, no, I'll come on with you. Just hopefully it won't be any later than midnight because I'm doing that stream at 9:15 tomorrow morning. Because I asked my boss, I was like, "Can I start work late tomorrow? I have this thing I want to be at." But the thing is actually just my other desk.
I wish I could ask my boss for things.
Yeah, right. I mean, it'll be at like 7:15 your time, but I don't know what time you work. So.
Well, I happen to be my own boss, and so when I ask my boss, the answer is always no. We got to get shit done. So I can't rely on others. I just have to do things. And so, but yeah, that's I'm really interested in what's going to happen with that. But no, when I was hearing you talk, I was driving in the car, and then you said that comment, like, oh, there was like a comment about the whatever scene. And it's like, do you want to have sex? And then wrote that comment, do you want to bang? I wasn't propositioning you. I just want you to know that. It was a play on what you were saying.
Yeah, I know that you actually were propositioning me. It's fine.
Obviously.
Well, totally.
I get it a lot, especially from.
Anyway, folks, I got to go do the family thing. Hope to see you guys on the on my midnight stream. I love you guys both.
Cool.
And I'll see y'all later. I'll be watching in the background.
I'll be there. I just don't know how long I can stay, so I'll be there.
Oh, you're good. At least to throw in a good fart joke or two.
I mean, I could just fart.
Well, I'd rather you didn't. but you know.
Well, I didn't ask what you wanted.
All right, folks. Love you a lot. You guys take care.
You too.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, man. So this LA Times article, I went over some of the more pointed paragraphs earlier today, and I did say I was going to go over this Travis Flores lawsuit with Justin Baldoni because they were talking about it and they were characterizing it as like Justin Baldoni was basically torturing a sick artist or something. And I was just like, what in the absolute fuck are you doing with this? Like, this is some bullshit because like that case was obviously, dropped, and the lawyer who represents him now was the lawyer for the other party in that case and has said, well, we saw that, Justin and Wayfair, they operate ethically. So we're going to go over that case, guys, really quick. I'm pulling it up in Pacer. I had it saved, but then I let it go because I was like, I have no need for this. And of course, now I do. So I'll show you guys the whole docket and we'll get into that. There we go. I don't know why that one's listed twice, but I'm pulling up the document. You can't see it because our heads are in the way, right? Okay,
Right.
Bobby. Okay, run reports. So this was filed on, and we'll go over the complaint. This was filed on September 1st, 2021. And it was done on March 29th, 2022. And here's the withdrawal of the motion. So we'll pull that up as well. Okay, granting stipulation to this complaint. Here we go. I don't know if there's any other pertinent findings. Let's see. Notice of motion and motion to dismiss. Yeah, I should probably pull that up. Because I haven't actually read that yet. Okay. This is the complaint. So I'm trying to make sure I get the response to that.
I didn't know about Pacer for the longest time. And
oh, really? Yeah.
One of my a long time ago, one of my jobs I had was working for a law firm.
Mm-hmm.
And then I found out about a bunch of law shit.
A whole bunch of law shit.
Whole bunch of law shit.
Let me just go to history documents. That'll probably be easier to make sure I get the right one. There we go. Someone's request, report on filing, declaration, motion to dismiss. That would be it. Yeah, I have it up. Notice of settlements. We'll pull that up as well. Okay. Here's the that's the complaint for damages. So it was for copyright infringement, breach of contract, and interference with contract. We'll skim over this. We're not going to read word for word, guys. We can move our heads again. So 1 second.
I'm bopping mine over here.
I'm sure that's true.
My son has a toy that's I know this is completely off topic, but it's a sheep, and the neck is attached all the way down, like between the front legs, and you can move it up and down. So I'll make it go move it up and down. Maybe think of my bopping head.
Anyways.
Well, you're welcome.
All right.
I'm a great storyteller, guys.
That was terrible. Facts common to all causes of action. 1. Travis Flores is an activist, philanthropist, motivational speaker, actor, screenwriter, and children's book author. After being diagnosed with cystic fibrosis at the age of 4 months and being given just a few years to live, Flores has battled cystic fibrosis for 30 years to develop a successful life and career. Flores has become a powerful influencer in the CF community through his activism for nonprofit foundations like Make-A-Wish, through his online blogging and YouTube channel, through his speaking engagements across the country, and through various other works in the entertainment industry. So unfortunately, since all of this happened, Travis passed away. I think he was 33. So that sucks. But somebody told me that it's pretty rare to live that long with CF. So it's good that he got to live, and have a successful career and all that. But it's very sad, obviously, that he passed. So, beginning in approximately 2010, Flores began writing a fictional screenplay inspired by his own life and struggles entitled 3 Feet Distance. The title was based on medical guidance that CF patients should never get closer to each other than 3 feet because they are prone to spreading harmful bacteria to each other. And that reminds me of, I don't know if... do you ever watch Grey's Anatomy?
Yes.
You know that the one where the CF patients are in love with each other and they're not supposed to, because the guy can't get a transplant if he's going to be with the girlfriend. It's so sad.
Yeah.
So that's what makes me think of that. 3 Feet Distance is about a group of chronically ill teens who come together to share their stories and learn that physical distance does not define their relationships. And like I said, we're going to skim over some of this. Let's see. In January 2017, defendant CBS announced it had decided to begin development of an untitled film from Justin Baldoni and his production company, Wayfair Entertainment, about teens with CF, which would be Baldoni's feature film debut as both a director and producer. The year after the announcement of Baldoni's untitled film, Baldoni asked Flores to appear in a documentary series called My Last Days about young people with terminal illnesses. Flores agreed, but made a concerted effort to avoid disclosing any portion of 3 Feet Distance to Baldoni. He kept a screenplay away from him because he had a policy of keeping his work confidential and because Baldoni was working on a feature film that was competitive. Unbeknownst to Flores, Baldoni had a different source to provide him with information about 3 Feet Distance. As it turned out, Baldoni's film, which became titled 5 Feet Apart, would copy numerous elements of 3 Feet Distance. Moreover, Baldoni consulted extensively about the content of 5 Feet Apart with Caleb Remington, one of the reps of Ambry to whom Flores sent the screenplay for 3 Feet Distance. It now has become apparent that Remington provided the script, or large portions, to Baldoni or others working on 5 Feet Apart, and that 5 Feet Apart copied numerous key elements of 3 Feet Distance.
I just want to say, I mean, I don't know anything about this, but I think if you're talking about a disease, there are going to be certain things that are factual about it that people are going to cover. Like if you're covering that subject, you're going to cover a lot of the same elements. Now, if it's like a unique story with someone's life story, and Baldoni's movie had someone by a different name, but it was a girl instead of a boy in the same life story, then that's, but so what do you think about this so far? Do you have any thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, kind of the same, mostly the same, so. Zach, thank you for the $5. Y'all support Lauren. Her jock strap just isn't quite enough. Well, I'm washing my jock strap right now, which is why I was late for this stream. So if you don't mind,
Get
I
her in.
forget to set.
You need a second one,
dude. I always forget to set the goal at the beginning of the stream. Hang on, give me 1 sec. Let's do it. Well, the thing that bothers me is you have to pick 1 or 5. I'm like, what if I just want to pick 3? What if I don't want to beg for 5 super chats? What if I want to just ask for 3?
Yeah, that's interesting. I wonder why they choose what numbers you can choose.
Yeah, but then again, also, how will I? It says set a timer and then share how you'll celebrate, and I never know how to celebrate anymore because, what am I supposed to do with that? I don't know. I will. I'm not dancing. I'm not singing. Butter's not here. He's at my parents' house. I will post a video of Butter dancing. I will post a video of Butter dancing if we meet the goal.
Is he dancing to a song?
No, just to me.
Okay, just to me.
Just to me saying, "Dance, Butter, dance." Which only happens twice.
I want to see that.
All right. Anyways, 5 Feet Apart is substantially similar to, or strikingly similar to 3 Feet Distance in the following ways, among others. A, mood. The mood is extremely similar in that both are tear-jerking romance stories. Well, that's, again, like you said, there's going to be some similarities there. Themes. A theme is both is the importance of touch and the ability to maintain closeness when they're not able to touch each other. The lead character has emotional barriers to connecting with people. The Importance in Living in the Here and Now. Both works are set in a group environment where a number of chronically ill teens have come together.
Okay.
Characters. Okay, we'll skip this part and we'll go into the. Hold on. So we'll skip through the characters.
I'd be curious to see if he copied like the age of the characters and the relationships of the characters.
Mm-hmm. Hang on. 3 feet distance. No, that's not what I was looking for. Updated CDC guidance says 3 feet of physical distancing for COVID. No, that's not what I meant. God damn it. CDC.
COVID.
Get away from me.
That's hilarious.
I mean, I need to watch these movies because 5 feet apart, I actually didn't know that he was in that. Cole Sprouse. That's cool.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen that.
Oh, and his wife is in it as a nurse. Cool.
And Emily Baldoni is in it as a nurse.
So what about 3 feet distance that never get finished? Because I looked up 3 feet distance movie, and this is all I'm getting. Okay, so and both the book and the movie 5 feet apart. So I guess there is a book for 5 feet apart. Oh, here. 3 feet? Is that it? Wait, this might be like a Bigfoot movie. Shit.
Cesspool makes it simple to start an
not
LLC in 3
Come
easy
on.
steps. Your
That's hilarious.
There we go. Wait, that's Squid Game. What the hell? This is not what I was looking for. That is not. Oh, y'all didn't even see that. I'm glad because that got weird. I forgot to change the tab, and that's a blessing. You're all up. 3 feet distance movie Netflix. Hang on, I don't see it there. No, it's just 5 feet apart is coming up. I'm not seeing any. I don't know. Maybe he like wrote the script, but they didn't get to finish it or something.
Yeah, that's what I was just trying to look up. Yeah, because he definitely wrote it, right? But
Travis
didn't make it.
3 feet distance Travis refers to a situation where someone named Travis needs to maintain a distance. Fuck you, AI. That's not what I was looking for.
So it just says which allegedly ripped off his script titled 3 feet distance. So it looks like it was never made into a movie.
That's disappointing because I'm sure it would have been nice to have him do all that. Let's see. It was a book in 2018. 5 feet apart was. Okay, you legitimately have read other posters telling you the situation, but you were still insisting that Justin stole from a dead man that had CF. Okay. Travis Flores' lawsuit details clear similarities between his screenplay, which he started writing in 2010 and officially registered copyright for in 2015. In 2016, the script was shared in confidence with Caleb Remington, who shared the script with Baldoni. But where's the proof that he shared it with Justin Baldoni is the thing? So yeah. Misconstruing context to push a narrative that Justin knowingly plagiarized from a dying man. 1, 5 feet apart book was co-written by screenwriters of the movie. 2, the screenplay was completed in 2016 and shared with Justin in 2017. 3, the movie came out in 2019. Travis Flores passed away in 2024. Oh gosh, that was recently.
Mm-hmm.
The screenshot even shows that Travis's allegations were directed at Caleb. Okay. The case was dismissed. All right. So let's look at the motion to dismiss, and then we'll go back to the LA Times article, which is just interesting. Okay, motion to dismiss 1 and 2 of plaintiff's complaint. Oh, is this it? It's only 2 pages? To all parties and their attorneys of record. This is not a David Jingers level filing. Please take notice that on April 8th, in courtroom 6B, stop saying words, just tell me what happened. Ambry will and hereby does move to dismiss each and all of counts 1 and 2 of the complaints as to Ambry. The sole claims asserted against it for failure to state a claim upon which relief may be granted. The motion is based upon this notice of motion. Yeah, this isn't what I was looking for, bro. That like says nothing. Let's see if I can find Oh, here's for Caleb Remington. Defendant Caleb Remington's notice of settlement. To this honorable court, all parties and their attorneys of record, please take notice that plaintiffs Travis and Caleb have reached a settlement in principle. Okay, so they settled. All right. And then let's see if there's anything for Justin.
Didn't or maybe someone in the comments said that I can't remember where I just saw this, but that someone the Wayfarer may have. Oh yeah, I think someone said that like maybe he was desperate trying to get like another double lung replacement, and they think that Wayfarer helped him out financially though to try to get that procedure.
Oh.
Someone in the comments said that.
Yeah, I don't know. Let's see.
Double lung transplant.
Let me just double check and see if I can find that. But yeah, that's rough. Okay. Complaints. Let me search for. See where he's mentioned. Declaration. Let me pull that up. Waiver of cert. That's not important. Stipulation. Order denying stipulation. Stipulation. Stop stipulating. Answer to complaint. Okay, here we go. All right. Answer to plaintiff's complaint. Demand for jury trial. Justin Baldoni and Wayfarer and Lionsgate and other people. Let's see. Defendant lacks knowledge or information sufficient to form a belief as to the truth of the allegations contained in paragraph 1 of the complaint and therefore deny the same. Defendants lack knowledge or information sufficient to form a belief as to the truth of the allegations contained in paragraph 2 of the complaint and therefore deny the same. Defendant CBS Films admits, and the remaining defendants admit, upon information and belief, that it announced that in January 2017 it had decided to begin development of an untitled film for defendant Justin Baldoni and his production company, Wayfarer, about teens with CF, which would be Baldoni's feature film debut as both a director and producer. And except as so admitted, deny each and every allegations contained in paragraph 3 of the complaint. Okay. Defendant Baldoni admits upon information and belief that Baldoni asked Flores to appear in the documentary, My Last Days. Okay. Defendants deny knowledge of information sufficient to form a belief as to the truth of the allegations contained in the second sentence of paragraph 4. That's very specific, and I'm not doing that. Defendants deny the allegation in the... Oh my gosh. I hate these filings. Just say what you mean. Sentence numbers. Defendants admit that plaintiff has pursued this lawsuit against Remington and Ambry for breach of and or interference with a purported agreement not to disclose 3 feet distance, and against Baldoni, etc., for infringing on his registered copyright for 3 feet distance. Defendants refer the court to the 5 feet apart film for its true content and meaning, but except as so referred, defendants respond that paragraph 6 states legal conclusions that require no response. Okay. God, this is like so boring. Come on, guys.
Do better.
Something I can understand. It's all referring to specific paragraphs, and I'm simply not going to refer back and forth. So unless I find worthy of reading here, I'm not gonna. Yeah, no. Okay. Count 1. Defendants repeat and reallege each and every admission, referral, and denial set forth in response to paragraphs 1 through 20 of the complaint, as if more fully set forth in response to paragraph 21 of the complaint. What? Paragraph. Okay, guys, they're not going to give me anything I can read here. Anyways, let's go back to LA Times. Okay, and we'll talk about how they characterize this lawsuit. In 2020, Travis Flores became one of only a handful of people in the world ever to receive a third double lung transplant, diagnosed as a baby with CF, a genetic disorder that causes mucus to build up in the lungs and other organs. Flores had defied doctors' predictions that he wouldn't live past age 5. At 29, he underwent the rare procedure in hopes of further extending his life. Zoom a little bit. There we go. What are you laughing at, beloved girl? All right. But as Flores recovered, his thoughts were consumed by another looming battle. The LA Times is a bunch of cunts. This one with what was that? This one with are you playing like the cymbal back there? What's going on? This one with
I moved my mic. Could you hear it?
Oh, yes.
Oh, sorry.
That's all good. This one with actor and filmmaker Justin Baldoni. Baldoni, best known at the time as an actor on CW's Jane the Virgin. Did you watch that show?
I love that show.
Yeah. I was
So good.
I was unashamedly Team Michael, but I did not like when they brought him back.
Yeah, when they brought him back, that was weird.
It was stupid.
It
I know
was.
it's supposed to be a telenovela or whatever, but I was like, this is stupid.
Right, I know. It went. I felt like they. Other than that, that's the only real like one that I can think of. I felt like they really did a good job of mixing like the telenovela with the real life like feeling of the show.
That's just crazy.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Wasn't he like a cowboy?
Yeah, something stupid as hell. Yeah. I want to rewatch that show because I've only seen it once. And I usually, with my ADHD brain, like to watch things over and over again. And I have not watched that one again yet. So
I've only seen it once too, but it would be fun to go back and watch. What is the wife's name? Is it Petra?
Petra.
Yeah. I thought she did such a good job.
Yeah, she's funny.
Mm-hmm.
I think she was probably my favorite character. Her or Rogelio.
Mm-hmm. Rogelio.
Nothing against the others, but those two are like the funniest characters.
He plays one of the voices in Coco.
I haven't seen that.
What?
Is that like a lotion or
Coco, the Pixar movie? Oh my God.
No, I've heard of it. I just haven't seen it.
I saw it in the movie theater on Christmas Eve with two friends.
Oh yeah. Wait, this year?
No. Back when it came out, which I don't even remember what year that was. But it's so my point is it was before I had a kid. But it's such a good movie. You should watch it. It's so good. Anyway, he voices Miguel's dad. It's not a big role, but he voices it.
Okay. Wait. Oh, Sunshine is posting the dial-in information for tomorrow's court hearing. If you guys didn't know, I'm going to live stream starting at 9:15. We'll go over the protective order motions, and then we will and the letter responses, and then we will listen to that 10 o'clock public court conference, which I will shut the fuck up for, and you'll just be able to watch my facial expressions while we listen to that together, and then we'll talk about it afterwards. But that is the dial-in information if you want to dial in from your phone, or you can just come to my channel and watch it from my stream, and I promise I won't talk during the actual conference. But the stream starts at 9:15 tomorrow morning. Normally I would be working by that time, but I asked my boss to let me start late tomorrow. So, okay. Well, we need to skim along some of this. Let's see. Despite its dramatic elements, a terminally ill man alleging a director appropriated his story for a hit film, Flores' lawsuit barely made a ripple. Copyright battles are routine in Hollywood, and Baldoni wasn't yet a household name. Which important to remember that because they're going to say something later about him being a powerful opponent or something.
Which one is it?
Right. Since 2019, he had increasingly focused on directing and producing earnest, socially conscious fare through the purpose-driven Wayfarer Shingle. He had also positioned himself as a prominent male feminist ally, delivering a 2018 TED Talk, Why I'm Done Trying to Be Man Enough, that went viral, spawning a best-selling memoir and a podcast exploring gender, vulnerability, and privilege. Okay. I'm sorry, what does that have to do with the lawsuit?
Right.
Last year's romantic drama, It Ends With Us, was supposed to be the culmination of Baldoni's transformation into a multi-hyphenate force. The adaptation of Colleen Hoover's best-selling novel found him directing and starring opposite Blake Lively, a far bigger Hollywood name, friends with Taylor Swift, who attended last year's Super Bowl with her, and married to Marvel star Ryan Reynolds. Lively has been famous since Gossip Girl, a defining teen drama of the 2000s. Well, good for her.
And I've never seen a single episode of Gossip Girl.
Dude, you gotta watch Gossip Girl.
I don't know if I don't think I want to now.
You got to. Dude, come on. There's so many other actors in that show. You gotta watch it. Penn Badgley's in that. Chase Crawford's in that. Leighton Meester's in that. You gotta watch that. It's a good show. It's a good show.
I'll consider it.
Do it. All right. Anyways, sorry. I'm sorry. What did you say? No. Okay. But despite grossing over $350 million after its August release, the success has been overshadowed by a bitter, escalating feud between two stars. What does that have to do with Travis Flores? What the fuck?
Right.
Like, where you guys are all over the place. All right. Scandals become a full-blown media spectacle. Gosh, who knew that? Many who have worked with the 41-year-old Baldoni praise him as an inspiring and generous leader. Article's over now. Okay. Former colleagues in more than a dozen interviews paint a more complicated picture. Several described a pattern of performative virtue and power plays that, in their view, conflicted with the ideals Baldoni professes to uphold. Hang on, yeah, there we go. They keep talking about the Baldoni lively battle as David and Goliath, but that's just not my experience, said one former collaborator who, like numerous others interviewed by the Times, declined to be named out of fear of being drawn into litigation. Well, isn't that convenient?
Mm-hmm.
Justin has a lot of power and a lot of money, and he's not afraid to use them to get his way. We need allies, but we need allies whose personal and business dealings align with who they say they are. So it must be, so hard to come out and say that when you know your identity is protected and nobody knows all the bad things you did to be scorned by this person.
Mm-hmm.
Just saying. And I know that the anonymity is in place to protect people who actually do want to come out and like help legitimate causes and want to speak up and are afraid. But the thing is, people
That's why I'm anonymous.
Yeah. But people will exploit that. I mean, you're not using your anonymity to hurt anybody. And in this context, I feel like somebody might be. So.
Mm-hmm. Oh, for sure. Yeah. It's like when you're commenting online, not you, but when people are commenting online, they're behind, a screen.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen those videos where it'll be someone like comments of people trashing Taylor Swift, and then they'll show the people who they'll be like, she's too fat, or whatever,
fat!
Like dumb shit.
Taylor is fat?
No, they'll be like, well, she's skinny because she used to be super skinny, and like now she's healthy and she looks like a normal, like beautiful person. But these people will be saying like just really mean shit, and so then they'll the video will go to the pictures because they're posting from a profile. A lot of people do it from their real profiles, so they'll show like these like just nasty ass men who are like behind all these comments.
Right. Oh my gosh.
Anyway, it makes me think about that.
Oh man. All right. Through a spokesperson, Baldoni declined to be interviewed. What do you think would happen if I asked to interview the guy? What if I was just like, what if I emailed his lawyers and I was like, listen, I'm not a journalist. I just want to talk.
Hey, you never know.
Wait, hold on. We're gonna put a poll in the chat here. How about this? You know what? Fuck this current super chat goal. How do I remove that? Okay, if I get 5 super chats, so instead of the last super chat goal, if I get 5 super chats of like $1, let's put $1. I will request an interview with Justin.
Do it.
I'm not going to do it unless I get 30 cents from my audience here. That's my price, and I'm sticking with it. I don't like the thing is like my mods and stuff. They'll remind me, they're like, Lauren, you should set a super chat goal. I'm like, I don't like asking people for money. I literally just like I want to be able to make videos and be successful and like have people watch it because that could be enough. But like, I don't know. I feel bad asking for money, so like we'll make it fun whenever I do decide to do that. Oh yeah. Let's see. Did I read this one yet? Mila Kate, thank you for the $10 super sticker. If I didn't, I'm sorry. I meant to, probably. Thank you, Mila. I appreciate it. I probably meant to. Okay. Let's see. And to be clear, they will probably say no to that, but I will present it exactly how I just said it, and I will show the screenshot. I'm not kidding. I will show you guys the screenshot of me saying, I'm not a journalist, but will your client please Please come on my show. Okay. The spokesperson said the company has always proudly publicized its founding mission of harnessing storytelling to champion inspirational stories that act as true agents for social change, and actively strives to maintain a positive workplace environment that is rooted in this mission. So this is going over his background. We're going to skip some of that. And this talks about his book, Man Enough, which also we're going to skip over that because I'm going to read that book, but I haven't yet. But this part was kind of sad. The nickname Balboner. I'm just like, that's depressing.
Yeah.
So sad. People are mean, man.
Yeah.
Okay, and then it talks about his abuse. So again, I think anyone who wants to hear about that, I would prefer, and I know everyone's kind of read this article at this point, but like, I would prefer, obviously, people read about his abuse in his words than the LA Times words. So that's why I'm not reading that out loud. And I'm going to choose to, I just skimmed over it myself. I'm like, I'm going to read his book. I'm not going to, that's not the characterization of the actual events of his life that he wanted. So I'm not going to read that. Let's see. Okay, shifting to directing and producing. How do we use media to make the world a better place? That was the mission. It was an uphill battle to go into a network and do something wholesome. One of Wayfarer's first projects, My Last Days, a web docuseries about terminally ill individuals embracing life, found a home on Baldoni's friend and fellow Baha'i devotee, Rainn Wilson's Soul Pancake platform. I didn't know Rainn Wilson was Baha'i. That's cool.
Oh, I didn't either.
Yeah, I like Rainn Wilson. The series drew millions of views and would eventually land a spot on the CW. In 2014, Baldoni landed his breakout role as Rafael Solano, which we all know that, so we'll skim over that. We're going to skim over some of this career type stuff. And then here it says, he's hardcore Baha'i, right? And one of the major tenets, as I came to understand from him, was our work should be our service to mankind, McManus recalled. He used to use this analogy in regards to the patriarchy and the role of women. Our species is a two-winged bird, and one of the wings has been injured. And then I'm going to skip over some of this stuff, just like explaining the Baha'i, because I think, like I said, I don't want to copyright the whole article. I'm going to skim some of it. But this, I did read this earlier, which was initially what stood out to me, made me feel like I was like so annoyed. Despite its emphasis on equality, some Baha'i principles remain culturally conservative in ways that clash with Hollywood's more liberal and permissive norms. Women cannot serve on the religion's highest governing body, the Universal House of Justice. I don't want that responsibility. Though they can hold leadership roles in all of the Baha'i institutions. Same-sex marriage is not recognized, as Baha'i teachings define marriage as a union between a man and a woman. I do not give a fuck about that. And I said this earlier. Honestly, there's going to be lots of people in my life that I come across who think that man and woman is marriage and like nothing else counts or whatever. But it doesn't really matter. As far as the government goes, I have the same rights as anybody else. I don't need to like discount anyone's religious beliefs. I don't need to like fight with anyone who doesn't believe in gay marriage. Like, it's not going to affect my life. I have distant family members who also, they're very Christian in a certain context where they only believe, like male and female marriage or whatever. Fine. And they've never hurt me in any way. They've never done anything to disrespect me in any way. They don't say things to me that are offensive. It's just like, that's the way they grew up. That's the context they grew up in. That's what they were taught was right and wrong. And they try to kind of see things differently. And that's all I can really ask. I feel like I can't force people to change what they've known for their entire lives, but it doesn't mean they're mean to me. It doesn't mean they treat me poorly. It just means they have a different upbringing than I did. And they have a different experience than I have. So, well, that's just me. So,
yeah.
Let's see. Alcohol and recreational drugs are prohibited, so you're out because you love crack.
Yeah.
And gossip, a key currency in Hollywood. Well, now we're both out.
Yep.
Is considered one of the most harmful and soul-destroying human traits and strictly forbidden. It was through his faith that Baldoni.
Okay, so if he doesn't like gossip, then why would he condone like them doing a smear campaign against Blake?
Dude, I don't know. Well, because it didn't happen.
or if he's not allowed to participate in.
Mm-hmm. Oh my God! What the hell? Sorry, this
Yep.
happens so fast.
You have so many.
And only Usti, thank you for the $5. Do it. Salem's mom, thank you for the $2. Contact Justin. Okay. Palaver girl, thank you for the $2. Guys, you don't have to send me more than $1. Like, this is, you guys are so nice. Literally, like, I'll do this for a dime. Billy Bush, a friend of Friedman, said Sony made their finance contingent on cast approval and they wanted Blake. Oh, interesting. Okay. Thank you for the 5. Just add air. Thank you for the 5 hearts. Back to you. I hope I'm not. Does it look deformed?
No.
Okay, good.
It's beautiful.
Okay, and Teresa, thank you for the 5. Wait, hang on.
Okay.
Hang on. Hey, Ken, please share your nuts with Teresa. I hope I followed those instructions appropriately. I'm not positive. All right, we better super chat goal. Nobody else has to give me money, okay? But the thing is, I cannot send that email while I'm doing the stream because my ADHD brain will not allow me to multitask like that. And also, I'm distracted because I really have to pee. But what I'm going to do is we'll skim through the rest of this article and talk about it. And then my friend Omar, his stream is at midnight Eastern time, 9 o'clock Pacific time. So in an hour and 20 minutes. Between the end of my stream tonight and his stream, I will send an email and I will request an interview. It's not going to work out, but I'm going to request it anyways. And then on Omar's stream at midnight, if you guys come and talk to us in the chat and remind me, I'll let you know what I said in that email. I'm not going to try to contact him because I'm not a creepy person who's going to try to find his phone number, but like, I'll email his representative, you know? So, yeah.
You got to make it enticing. Send a video of Butters dancing.
Yes. I'm not going to.
Imagine if you did.
Don't tempt me, bro.
They just open it and they're like, what the fuck is this?
I'll do that for $4 million. I will send a video of my dog dancing to Brian Friedman for $4 million. Oh my gosh.
Oh my god. I'd probably pee myself if you did that.
Yeah, I probably would too. All right, we're going over Sorowitz. Let's skip over that. We're going to skip over this building Wayfair. Okay, here we go. It was constant positivity all the time. And I got to ask you for a big favor here because I have to pee so bad.
Okay.
And I might need you to read the rest of this page, but can you see that?
Yeah.
Or are you able to see this?
Not as well. I can, but not as well.
Is it readable? So I don't
miss.
Hang on. No.
I'm losing my mic again.
Let me do this. I'm moving. What if I copy the link and send it to you? Then are you able to pull it on your screen? Yeah. Let's do that. I'm sending it to you on Discord.
I can read that.
You can?
Yeah.
Oh, I zoomed it back in though.
Oh, you did? Oh.
And I take a while to pee because I text on the toilet. Look out for my chat. I'll be in the chat, guys. All right, I just sent you the document.
Okay. Access denied.
Access denied, really? Can you request access?
Yeah, I said, let me in.
Okay. Let me see if I got a request. Nothing yet.
Request sent.
I'll check my mailbox.
Okay.
It's outside. Hold on. Oh, it says private only to me. That's why. Hang on. Anyone with link? Oh, I'm giving you the access. Hang on.
Okay.
Share. Okay, now try it.
Okay. Same link?
Yep. Should be.
There we go.
Okay. I was on it was constant positivity all the time.
Okay, wait, and then I'm gonna stream mine.
Yes, so put your screen up there.
And it will just do this tab.
Yes, just that tab. Remember,
And
you
will
did
it-
that before, right?
But I thought I downloaded the document before.
It's the same way. So, like, you were just looking at my screen. You couldn't see any of my tabs or anything like that.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's the same thing.
Fuck. Okay, wait. Sorry guys.
Language. Okay.
Sorry.
You
It was
cunt.
constant positive. It was constant positivity all the time. Okay. You
It's in big bold letters. Did you?
and
find
then
it?
I do what? Present,
Yes.
share screen.
And then tab. I think. Let me see.
It just
You'll
says
go to
share
Chrome
screen.
tab.
What do I click? Share screen first.
Click so present share screen, and then it'll say share screen, and then Chrome tab.
Cool.
then
Thanks.
click on
You
that
can
one.
tell I never do this.
Hang on,
Awesome.
let me. Okay, and you can zoom in as much as you want or not, but just so you can scroll while I pee. Goodbye.
Cool. Perfect.
I'll be right back, everyone.
Thanks
I have
for
to
bearing
go
with us.
text my mother while I'm on the toilet. Be right back.
Mom. Okay. It was constant positivity all the time. While Baldoni's openness about his efforts to be a better man earned praise from many, others questioned his authenticity. Inspired by his faith, Baldoni had long tried to help others through such efforts as the Skid Row Carnival of Love, an annual event he founded in 2015 to help LA's unhoused community. But to some observers, his public gestures, such as filming himself giving clothing to a homeless man or asking employees to sign their emails with the phrase "so much love," felt performative, aimed at self-branding as much as it as bringing about genuine change. I'd love to hear in the chat what you guys think about that, especially as a celebrity and wanting to document and probably share with the world like this project you're doing. How do you feel about someone filming themselves doing that? In response to these criticisms, a spokesperson for Baldoni and Wayfair said, "There have never been any reported complaints regarding the workplace culture or any communicated issues regarding the platforms of its founders. If any guidance was ever provided to employees of how to conduct their written correspondence, it was to ensure that the activities of its employees remain professional and aligned with the ethos of the company. Wayfair believes that joy and positivity are the essence of good work, and they stand by this statement." Multiple employees also expressed discomfort with their increasing prominence of the Baha'i faith in Wayfair's office culture. Quote, "There was an evangelizing aspect to the way Justin spoke about the faith that, in my opinion, felt professionally inappropriate," said one former employee. Others described a workplace where Baha'i principles were frequently invoked in discussions about the company's mission and projects, particularly after Sarowitz became more involved. Quote, "Baha'i values were a driving force behind everything they did," said another former employee who wasn't bothered by the focus on the faith. It came up routinely. As a new Baha'i member, Steve wanted to talk about it all the time. The spokesperson for Baldoni and Wayfair noted that while the founders of Wayfair Studios are Baha'i, the majority of its senior leadership and staff are not, and no Baha'i-related activities are ever mandated by the company. Quote, as all of Wayfair's projects are rooted in a belief system that stems from various faiths and backgrounds, speaking from a place of spirituality is commonplace," the spokesperson told The Times. Employees are encouraged to celebrate and practice their individual beliefs however they see fit, a message which is proudly supported by leadership. Rooted in his spiritual beliefs, Baldoni saw Wayfair as a vehicle for inspirational storytelling, but some employees felt its relentless emphasis on uplift sometimes veered into what is this word? Discomfiting territory. Two former staffers in particular spoke with their unease with Baldoni's repeated focus on the stories of terminal illness, which included a 2015 documentary he directed about The Simpsons writer Sam Simon that aired on Fusion just a week after Simon's death from cancer. Quote, "The message was always, these people are dying and they still have a positive outlook, so everyone has a reason to be positive," one of the former Wayfair staffers said. But you're also making money off these people, so it feels at least slightly expletive. Oh my God. I can't read. I feel like after I did this video, I can't read anything. Video on my channel. Anyway, reviewers have raised similar concerns. While it is a spectacle for a good cause, it is still a spectacle. Variety wrote of My Last Days, and one that sometimes is guilty of reveling in its own self-satisfaction. Responding to these concerns, a spokesperson for Baldoni and Wayfarer said, "It is a shame that anyone would criticize the platform that Mr. Baldoni and Wayfarer Studios have given to these communities of people living with chronic illness who are in desperate need of the critical funds and global awareness that each of these projects directly provided." Since before Wayfarer was even founded, Mr. Baldoni dedicated his professional career to raising awareness and funds for these individuals with the sole intent of memorializing their legacies. While some former employees voiced concerns about aspects of Wayfarer's workplace culture, others described positive experiences with the company. Australian-born filmmaker Christelle Cornelison, who began working with Wayfarer in 2014, became the first female director on one of the company's projects when she replaced a male filmmaker who had dropped out of a documentary shooting in Malawi. The shoot proved arduous, with no electricity or running water, but Cornelison praised Baldoni and Wayfarer for their steadfast support. "I was stuck in the middle of nowhere dealing with this anarchy, and they were really there for me," Cornelison recalled. "They risked a lot of money for humanitarian projects that they didn't make back. That's putting your money where your mouth is. They were always good intentions. A lot of corporations are phony. You have to measure the impact. Justin is generally a good egg." Following a series of leadership changes at Wayfarer Studios, Jamie Heath, Baldoni's best friend and a fellow Baha'i, became the company's president in 2021. A longtime songwriter and producer who worked with the artists Shaka Khan and Solange, Heath, like Sarowitz, had little prior experience in the film industry. The following year, Sarowitz and his wife, Jessica, invested an additional $125 million into the company, fueling further expansion. In March 2024, Heath, who also co-hosted the Man Enough podcast, was elevated to chief executive. Wayfarer's internal culture was at times dysfunctional and riven by internal politics, according to one former executive at the company, with Baldoni, who was often away on sets, only occasionally making appearances. He would come in and everyone would kind of stand and greet him as if he was an arriving conqueror, but he didn't really understand how the day-to-day business worked. Is everyone doing well? Am I droning? Let's see. A spokesperson for Baldoni and Wayfarer said that Baldoni was not deeply involved in daily management, adding, "Justin Baldoni does not oversee and hasn't ever overseen the day-to-day operations of Wayfarer Studios," and emphasizing the company's robust leadership team. I don't know how this, why are they talking about all of this? Whatever workplace tensions existed came to a head in 2020 and 2021 when a lawsuit alleging racial discrimination and wrongful termination brought internal grievances to light, and a separate copyright dispute involving Baldoni and Wayfarer raised questions about whether the company's stated ideals aligned with its practices. In December 2020, former Wayfarer executive Shane Norman, who is Black, why is that capitalized, filed a lawsuit alleging that he was recruited with promise of job security and professional advancement, but was later marginalized and ultimately terminated after raising concerns about racial inequities at the company. The complaint claimed that during his hiring process, Sarowitz told Norman, "We need somebody here who looks like you." But after he spoke out, particularly during the 2020 Black Lives Matter protests, colleagues labeled him as an angry Black man. Asked about Sarowitz's alleged comment, a spokesperson for Wayfarer said Mr. Sarowitz was not a defendant in the lawsuit. Regardless, Wayfarer Studios, Wayfarer Entertainment, and Baldoni denied this and all the material allegations in the complaint, the first amended complaint and the second amended complaint. The lawsuit alleged Wayfarer perpetuated a pattern of sidelining and tokenizing people of color, a dynamic that, according to the complaint, was and oh my God, I don't know this word. I don't know these words, guys. To everything Wayfarer claimed to stand for. It further claimed that after voicing these concerns, Norman was demoted. His pay was cut, and he was ultimately terminated, while non-Black employees in similar circumstances received severance packages that he was denied. Baldoni and Wayfarer denied the allegations. In September 2021, a judge dismissed some of Norman's claims in the case, and he later filed an appeal. In April 2022, he voluntarily dismissed the lawsuit with prejudice, meaning he could not refile it. A source with knowledge of the negotiations said Norman received approximately $150,000 to drop his claims, though the terms of any settlement were not publicly disclosed. Throughout their defense of Mr. Norman's lawsuit, Mr. Baldoni, Wayfarer Studios, and Wayfarer Entertainment vigorously denied all of Mr. Norman's claims, a spokesperson for Baldoni and Wayfarer said. In fact, public records confirm the trial court dismissed Mr. Baldoni and Wayfarer Studios from the lawsuit well before any resolution of the parties and the concurrent dismissal of the remainder of the lawsuit. Other than stating that the matter was resolved, we are unable to further comment. In September 2021, cystic fibrosis advocate and writer Travis Flores filed a lawsuit alleging that Baldoni, Wayfarer Entertainment, and other defendants incorporated elements of his 2010 screenplay 3 Feet Distance without permission into Baldoni's 2019 film 5 Feet Apart. According to the complaint, 3 Feet Distance was optioned by an affiliate of Universal in 2015, but never produced. The lawsuit claims that in 2016, Flores shared his screenplay with a genetic testing company that had expressed interest in the project under a confidentiality agreement, and that an individual with access to the script later consulted on 5 Feet Apart. According to the complaint, after Baldoni announced 5 Feet Apart, Flores was invited to appear on Baldoni's docuseries My Last Days. Flores claimed in the lawsuit that he deliberately avoided discussing 3 Feet Distance on the show because he was concerned his participation might be used to undermine a potential copyright claim. Baldoni and the other defendants denied the allegations, and in March 2022, Flores voluntarily dismissed the lawsuit with prejudice. No determination of liability was made. This article is so long.
Yo, I told you. Hang on, I'm gonna put this back up. What's I was gonna say what page are you on, but it doesn't say a page number, does it?
No, the top says, according to multiple sources, Flores ultimately dropped the case.
Here we are.
There you go.
Okay. Sorry about that. I was listening.
I was like, what? I feel like it. I'm like, why is it talking about all of these? I don't
heard that.
They're relevant.
That's not. That's why. So we're gonna skip over this. It talks about Travis's death at 33, but we talked about that earlier. So, but this quote from Brian Friedman is important. Ask why he decided to represent Baldoni after previously representing Flores in a case against him. Friedman said in a statement, "Over the years, I have learned what great people Justin and Wayfarer are. The Flores case was resolved without any determination of liability on Justin or Wayfarer or any other defendant's part. Since then, it has been further confirmed to me that Justin and Wayfarer are exceedingly honorable and highly ethical." So why then, in the very beginning of this article, do they come out the gate swinging like Justin is some terrible person who exploited a sick dude?
Mm-hmm.
Like, go fuck yourself, you know?
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to skip some of this because... Oh, yeah, I've got the snippets there. So, okay, so we got through that. One former Wayfarer executive who requested anonymity to speak candidly, of course they did, described the challenges of Hollywood's for-profit progressivism as a constant negotiation between ideals, egos, and industry realities. The social impact model is a tough go in this industry. There's so much temptation and greed, it's hard to truly do good. Okay. Oh, did I read this part yet? Some former employees?
No.
Some former employees maintained that Baldoni's intentions were sincere, even as aspects of his leadership drew criticism. His heart is truly in the right place, said one former Wayfarer employee. He's a young guy who has gained access to a lot of money and has been figuring out how to run the company as he goes. He did a lot of stuff that was really helpful to a lot of people that no one knows about. that far outweighs any mistakes. So the reason no one knows about it is because outlets like this put it at the bottom. So I hadn't even like really read that earlier. Like I read through the whole thing, but I was like so tired by the end of it. I was just like, dude, I have to work. So yeah. So the thing that bothered me the most about this article was just like this. There was some kind of like subtle pulling of strings as to like you need to be supporting women or you need to be against this religion that doesn't like homosexuals or it doesn't like XYZ people. I'm just kind of like, this is ridiculous. I don't like this article at all. So by the time I got to the bottom, I was so over it that I don't think I even really noticed that quote.
It's like, yeah, and imagine sitting down and writing all of this.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
God.
Dude, I hope they get paid well, at least.
Hope that would be nice.
Yeah. All right. What are you going to stay up to join Omar or no?
Dude, I don't know. I've been up until like 3 a.m. the past several nights working on this video that I just posted. And I also did a stream that you were on, and I stayed on until like 2. I don't know. I was just very early in the morning. For me until because even when I get off of the stream, like I can't go to sleep right away. I gotta like wind down from it. So anyway, yeah, I don't know. We'll see where I am in an hour.
I'll be here. I have an email to send, guys. Speaking of,
yes,
did I read Helene's super chat yet? I don't remember. I think about the $10. Helene, yes, please, to interview with Justin. Justin's probably not taking interviews right now, but I will request it as promised. So we'll see what happens. And like I said, if you guys come to my friend Omar, the Tilted Lawyer stream, in 1 hour, if you're somehow still awake and want to listen to Omar put you to sleep because he has such a silky smooth voice, then I will tell you what I wrote in that email. How about that? No, I was not looking up You season 4. I was looking up YouTube. Thank you. I'm trying to get Omar's link here. I'll put it in the chat. But that'll be starting in an hour. And Omar seems pretty fired up, so he might actually keep us awake tonight. So okay, hang on. Here in the chat, guys, is the link to Omar's stream. It might actually redirect you to his stream. Let's see. And then, like I said, guys, I'll be on at 9:15 a.m. tomorrow morning to go over that protective order stuff before the public court hearing for this case, where the judge will be ruling on the protective order issues. I'm not sure why the judge invited the public. That is not necessary at all, but he decided to. So it'll be very interesting, probably. And if not, then I'll be sad. So hopefully I'll see you guys in the morning. Hopefully I'll see you over at Omar's, but if not, then I'll remember and I'll cry about it forever. Don't forget to like this stream. Say thank you, please, in the chat to my friend Schnitzel Ninja, who joined us tonight and read a lot while I was on the toilet. And I'll see you all very soon. Thanks. Bye.